So a lot of you know that I don't talk about anime all too often. However, when a manga does get an anime announcement, I'm very excited and more so interested to see how this series comes to life. What creative procedures they will take, how they'll handle the development. Is it something to look forward to, or is it something that might crumble in front of our eyes? I think for a lot of anime fans, that's a pretty scary thing. Your potential favorite manga finally getting an anime announcement, and then it's just this very long and tedious wait to see if it lives up to any sort of expectation. And I think that's kind of the general ruling at this point, right? Try not to have an expectation. Try not to hype yourself up for the biggest, best thing that potentially won't be produced. That obviously comes down to your personal preference. The animation industry is tough. It is extremely grueling, it is toxic, and obviously the first thing that anything should be considered is the health and the authenticity of their creators, the passionate people that are putting the time and effort into creating and bringing something to life. This is obviously easier said than done from an outside third-person perspective, but one can only hope that the right treatment, the right time, the right energy and efficiency is going into this production by going through its people first, by going through the talent that these people are providing. We're not working them to the bone, not giving them a small amount of production time to produce very high quality. Of course, we all want the same thing, a beautiful anime experience, and giving that to them first, allowing them to thrive in the department that they're thriving in, you will most likely get it. One can only be optimistic in that regard. However, we do have 3 series here that are finally getting anime, or at least one of them has been confirmed. The other 2 are speculative. They're rumored, but there is some sort of legitimacy behind them. Starting off with the first one that is confirmed, Dedede Demon's Destruction. This is a work by Ino Asano, and this is a very big thing for not only the animation industry, but for the manga industry. This is the first anime for Ino Asano, right? This is the same person that has done Oyasumi Punpun, Solanin, etc., etc. All of these incredible thought-provoking works that have never, regardless of how popular or how iconic they have never been put into an anime. And for me, there's kind of a good reason for this is because a lot of his works, because of how intense and atmospheric they are, probably won't translate all too well to anime, unless there is genuine creativity and time and passion put into them, which, the harsh truth be told, is a rare commodity nowadays. Survive. This is why I'm very happy to see something like Dedede Demon's Destruction, which personally I haven't read all too much of, but I know it is a more simpler version of Ino Asano's work. The fact that this is getting an anime first instead of Oyasumi Punpun or Solanin, for example, makes me believe that this could be the beginning of something much bigger. That if this is well animated and well received and is able to capture the vibe that Ino Asano draws and breathes into his work, they may actually take this elsewhere. A proof of concept, if you will. From my knowledge, Ino Asano is very integral to all of this. He's very picky and choosy, and rightfully so. He wants the best for his works and how they are experienced. So of course, he is supervising very heavily on this work and is most likely giving a lot of creative direction as much as he can for this work. So Dedede Demon's anime is going to be done by Production Plus H. You may be like, who is that? What have they done? Something recent they have done is The Orbital Children, which I believe is on Netflix, I think. I personally haven't watched it, but I've seen the trailer for it and it actually looks pretty interesting. I might evidently check it out very soon. And I believe they also done an OVA or some small portions of Muradi the Patriot. Correct me if I'm wrong on that behalf, please. They haven't done all too much. There is some notable big names, I believe, within the director department, but in terms of what people are actually going to be working on this series, we're not entirely sure. All we know is that it's in motion, it's definitely a thing. Ino Asano himself is personally supervising it and making sure it all goes smoothly, so hopefully this can provide a pretty good result. I would say be very optimistic, not to hype yourself up all too much for like the most mind-altering, incredible experience that you could imagine, but just to keep it pretty tame as much as possible until either you get some sort of trailer or more information on who's working on it. I'm not too knowledgeable on the anime front, who's the best, who's a good choice for this, that, the third, etc., etc. But I'm very excited that this is starting with Ino Asano, and it's a very big thing for him, so congratulations. Be interested to see how this goes. The second series is rumored, right? A website domain was recently found that was very recently acquired, and it completely revolves around the potential anime of Oshi No Ko. If you do not know what Oshi No Ko is, I don't blame you. It's a very low-key type of story. It's not necessarily reaching the public spotlight as of yet, but it is increasing and becoming more and more popular. It is a extremely good read. To put simply, it showcases the dark side, the very gritty, harsh reality of the entertainment industry and how certain individuals navigate through this industry. It's toxic, it's unforgiving, it's very brutal, it's very emotional, and it will kind of tear you apart. But it has so many lovable characters, very thought-provoking, and it's a great experience. Having this within an animation format, I think would skyrocket it into popularity. And while there is technically nothing for it as of yet other than some oddly placed website domain, I do hope that it does actually get one. An Oshi No Ko anime experience would be phenomenal, and I have my fingers crossed that sometime within the near future we get some sort of announcement for it. I think the time is definitely ripe for it. And lastly, the biggest piece of this whole video, the series that I think a lot of people were desperately waiting for, that over the past handful of years has been skyrocketing into fame very rapidly, Kaiju No. 8. This has not been confirmed. However, there is heavy rumors and leaks going around that some sort of announcement will be coming very soon. So do take it with a grain of salt, once again, similar to Oshi No Ko. There is a little bit more to this Kaiju No. 8 leak. Supposedly, Toho is going to be working on it. And if you don't know what Toho is or how they're connected to it, I believe they are kind of like the head honcho. They're the people that make the big decisions, so they will go through, select or curate some sort of animation studio underneath, Bones, Mappa, etc., and have them work on Kaiju No. 8, with them being the producers on top of it and handling all of the quality control. So it could either be extremely good or potentially something that's a bit of a cash grab. Again, only rumored and speculative. However, this would make a lot of sense. Kaiju No. 8 has been due for an anime for a very long time, and I say that weirdly because it only has 50 odd chapters. However, since its first 10, I believe the notation of an anime was definitely in their thoughts. This was an extremely successful story that blew up very, very quickly, and it has kind of the qualities of a well-received anime. If I were to think of an animation studio that I believe would handle Kaiju No. 8 extremely well and do it justice, kind of bypassing the more mainstream, very popular ones currently, Mappa, Ufotable, etc. I think Studio Bones would be a very, very good pick for Kaiju No. 8, and I've thought this pretty much since day one. I do think we will undoubtedly get an anime for it, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do get some sort of announcement very, very soon. My thought is that with the creative talent that Studio Bones has, being able to have a refresher with Kaiju No. 8, with its movement, with its energy and its high octane action, they could play around with so many incredible things. A lot of the kind of high points of My Hero Academia would easily fit directly into Kaiju No. 8, just with style, just with the authenticity and the atmosphere that they bring across. I believe there is currently issues with My Hero Academia just being a little all over the place or not as good as people expected. I can't necessarily confirm that. I'm sure there's a lot of legitimate concern and reason for that. Scheduling, time, loss of talent, etc. Regardless, in a perfect world, I do think Studio Bones would be an incredible pick. There's not a whole lot they would have to do with Kaiju No. 8 to make it really successful. If they wanted to go overkill, they could smash out the animation so it looks beyond pretty, so it looks absolutely phenomenal, which by all means is probably the most difficult thing to do because of how much time and effort would have to go into that. But if they're able to achieve it, I'm more than happy for it, and it would undoubtedly be well received. However, the series does have a bit of nuance as well. As much as it is action, as much as the arcs that it currently has is all bleeding together and is very quick and fast paced and feels very reminiscent of Chainsaw Man in the regards of pacing. So I think off the back of Chainsaw Man's anime, Kaiju No. 8 would also be really well received. The play into symbolic nuance I think would also be well appreciated. Kaiju No. 8 pays a lot of homage to Franz Kafka and what I believe to also be Tokyo Ghoul. There's a lot of Tokyo Ghoul-esque elements I find within there that are a lot more watered down but feel very inspired by it. These Tokyo Ghoul elements were paying homage to Franz Kafka, and Of course, the main character of Kaiju number 8 quite literally is called Kafka, which is named after Franz Kafka and the whole book that is Metamorphosis, turning into a kaiju. You kind of get the gist. There's more intricate elements from Tokyo Ghoul that kind of overlap into Kaiju number 8, so I feel like there's a lot of inspiration, a lot of things that an animation studio could elevate even further and to play upon in a more intricate and eye-opening type of way. Not too overwhelming, but enough to be like, wow, that's a nice little thing, that's amazing, I'm really happy that's in there. To put very simply, Kaiju number 8 anime is kind of like a perfect hitter. It could be extremely well received. The manga has broken records already. It's a fun time, it's a fun experience, so bringing that all to an anime will only elevate it even further. Give it life, give it power, and I think quite effortlessly capture the hearts of the world to skyrocket it into fame even further. Over the next coming months, hopefully there is more information for these 3 series. I don't really watch anime all too often, but once again, I always like to see creatively where they go and how they decide to do things, and if it's for a manga that I appreciate or enjoy or am really excited to see more exposure for, I'm more than interested and happy for it. This year alone is shaping up to be massive for anime releases, so if we add on top of that anime announcements for the following year or two, it's going to be even more phenomenal. At this point, however, only time can tell. We'll have to wait and see and be very patient to see what information is true and not so much true. Endtime. So with that, welcome to the end of the video. If you have made it this far, thank you. I appreciate you. Let me know how you feel about these 3 series. Dedede Demon, Oshi No Ko potentially rumored, and Kaiju number 8 by Toho also rumored. I'm very interested to see Ino Asane's first anime come to life. I hope that Oshi No Ko's anime is legitimate and we get some sort of announcement for it soon. And then of course, Kaiju number 8. I want to see this thrive and excel and do extremely well. It already has been, so let's take it a step further. But also, if you were to have your personal pick of an anime announcement, what manga would you want it for? Let me know in the comment section below. But with that, I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Drink plenty of water, and I will see you within the next one. Goodbye.